Good evening. A gorgeous night for us here in the valley with just a few clouds out there. It's 84 degrees at McCarran Airport. Our winds are coming out of the southwest at about 10 miles an hour, but we're going to see our winds picking up for tomorrow. Weather first 24-hour day planner. We'll have some mostly sunny skies out there. 75 when we wake up in the morning. 98 is what we can expect for a high tomorrow. Our temperatures are going to stay above the seasonal average for a few days before we start our big fall cool down. Details ahead in your Weather First forecast.
Our top story tonight, working to make Las Vegas a safer place to live. Metro and other law enforcement hits the streets to stop drunk drivers. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Action News. I'm Victoria Spilabotte. It's one of the big causes of vehicle crashes here in the valley, and so far this year, Metro has ticketed thousands of people for drunk driving. Recently, there's been some high-profile drunk driving crashes making headlines, and tonight, Metro is trying to cut down on that. Action News reporter Marco Villearreal is live near Sahara and Maryland with more. Marco.
Victoria, things are very busy out here as Metro officers continue to do this DUI checkpoint. Now, let's give you a look at how it actually works. Vehicles are funneled into 2 lanes here, and then there's officers that stand at the ready, and as these vehicles drive by, the drivers have their windows rolled down, and the officers use their sight and their smell, their sense of smell, to see if there is anything suspicious, and then they move on from that point. Now, this checkpoint was planned months ago, but it's happening at a very important time. Several accidents in the last few months have injured several people and even killed a few, and those responsible are now facing charges of DUI. Police are hoping this checkpoint is going to have people thinking twice before they drink and drive. Hundreds of people headed east on Sahara past Maryland Parkway are funneled into this DUI checkpoint.
Drinking and driving, and sometimes both at the same time.
But Metro traffic officers are taking this seriously. Anyone suspected of driving impaired gets pulled over and given a sobriety test. Residents are glad this is happening.
Because there's a lot of tourists that come up here and a lot of locals that are just having a good time all day and all night. And hopefully they clear the street up a little bit tonight.
Recent accidents like the one near Spring Mountain and Decatur that left 4 people dead at a bus stop, and one near Lake Mead and Nellis that sent 2 Metro officers to the hospital when slammed into by another driver, has authorities suspecting those responsible were impaired.
We want people to have fun in Vegas. We want them to live to tell about it, though. If you're not going to go out and drink and drive, take a bus, take a taxi, have a designated driver.
In fact, one of the cops told me, "You're good to go."
We find this guy enjoying his Saturday night near the DUI checkpoint. He may be inebriated, but says he has more common sense than DUI drivers. Would you get behind the wheel of a car with where you are right now?
No, hell no. I ain't stupid, all right?
Just drunk?
Just feeling good, yeah.
And here's some sobering numbers that really are not funny at all. So far this year, Metro has arrested more than 7,500 people for DUI. That's up 21% from last year. And they say this year, the number of DUI deaths have gone down to 19 people. That's 17% down from last year, but still that's 19 people too many. And they say they're going to continue to stay out here and hopefully catch more DUI drivers. So far they've caught 5, and they're going to be here until 3 a.m. That's the latest from out here. Reporting live, Marco Villearreal, Channel 13, Action News.
Thank you, Marco. 5 people are in the hospital tonight after their house near Hacienda and Paradise caught fire during a young boy's birthday party. 5 people were hospitalized. 4 were rushed to UMC with serious burns, including 2 young children. Spencer Lubitz spoke with their aunt, who made it out of the house alive, although she was traumatized from seeing her niece and nephew injured.
It's the most upsetting day in my life.
The day wasn't supposed to turn out this way for Lisa Robles, who was in her room preparing for her nephew's birthday when she heard screams coming from the other side of the house.
I just opened my door and I see flames coming out.
Robles jumped out the window and ran out front, where she saw her niece and nephew suffering from serious burns.
I see little kids just all burnt down.
But for her pets, it was too late.
My dogs died. I tried to save their lives. Didn't work out.
Emergency crews rushed 3 adults and 2 children to the hospital.
Some we had to carry out, and there were some that were able to be walked out. And again, they just had significant burns that varied from the head to the toe.
You can see by the charred remnants of the porch that that's where fire investigators believe today's blaze began. Robles Said that's where her family was cooking on an open fire in celebration of her nephew's birthday. Investigators say a fryer was accidentally knocked over and the spilled oil ignited, with flames quickly spreading throughout the house. Officials warn that cooking accidents are one of the most common causes of house fires.
Not only in the way that they're cooking, but in the activities that are going on around cooking. It can be very, very dangerous and turn a celebration into a tragedy.
And for Lisa Robles, that tragic turn of events is now all too familiar.
I don't have a home. It's just my nephews and stuff all burnt down. It's the most upsetting day in my life.
That was Spencer Lubitz reporting. The American Red Cross is helping the people affected by the fire, and we've put information about how you can help on our website. Just go to ktnv.com and click on this story. The driver, who police say is responsible for a fatal crash, has been arrested. Thomas Rossangel of Las Vegas is now behind bars. Police say he fled the scene of the crash, which happened last night. Traffic was slowed on 215 near Sahara due to an event at the Red Rock Hotel and Casino. NHP says Rossangel slammed into the back of another vehicle, causing a chain reaction. At least 5 vehicles were hit. One person was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 other people were transported to UMC with unknown injuries. And a warrant has been issued for a former Clark County lawyer facing drug charges. David Schubert was supposed to turn himself in yesterday, but didn't. Last year, Schubert pleaded guilty to charges of cocaine possession and possession of an unregistered weapon. A no-bail bench warrant has now been issued. Family and friends are remembering one of the victims of that deadly bus stop crash. The funeral for Johnny Gardner was held today. She is one of 4 people killed when an accused drunk driver plowed into a bus stop on Spring Mountain near Decatur. The public viewing and the funeral were held at Davis Funeral Home on Eastern. And the man accused in the crash is Gary Lee Hosey Jr. He was in court yesterday where a judge set his bail at $4 million. Hosey will return to court for a preliminary hearing on October 19th. Anti-bullying was the focus of a workshop today in Henderson. Numerous students took part in Kids Matter at Brandon's ATA, a martial arts facility. Children learn the importance of standing up to bullies. One local counselor says learning how to protect yourself is the most important.
Bullying is everywhere, not just at the schools, before school, after school. And if they do not know what to do, they become victims and they grow up to be victims, and that really affects their school, their confidence. It keeps them from learning. So it's definitely very important that they learn how to take care of this.
Brandon's ATA will continue to hold classes for students with focus on anti-bullying. And highly trained search dogs were put in the spotlight today here in the Valley. The National Search Dog Foundation was at Petco in Henderson, showing off how their search dogs help firefighters and emergency service agencies save lives during major disasters. They're specifically trained to help in disasters such as 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina.
Not only do the dogs have to be able to search and bark and do their job, they also have to have a lot of agility on them, which means they have to be able to go over things that are moving. They have to go up high and make sure that they can do things that normal dogs just can't do.
That's right, they're very special dogs. The foundation says most of these search dogs are from shelters. And 2 Nevada companies just got the green light to do business in Asia. Las Vegas-based Tate Snyder Kimsey Architects won a $500,000 project to build a business school near Hong Kong, while a Reno-based candy company got a distribution deal in China. Governor Sandoval announced that news today. Red, White, and Blue 2012 political coverage tonight as the countdown to the November 6th election continues. Early voting has already begun in some states, and with just 6 weeks to go, the candidates were out on the campaign trail today. Wisconsin was once seen as a state for President Obama, but the Badger State may now be up for grabs. Today, the president made his first stop in Wisconsin since February. Mitt Romney's been there 17 times since then.
My opponent, he believes in top-down economics. Don't boo, vote.
I'm absolutely convinced that if we re-elect Barack Obama president, America will continue on a path of decline.
When you say Romney was fundraising in California today. Vice President Biden campaigned in New Hampshire. Absentee ballots are already available in Wisconsin, and there's some form of early voting in all 7 battleground states, including right here in Nevada. A man lucky to be alive after a tiger mauled him at the Bronx Zoo will end up behind bars. Police say the man jumped into the exhibit with the 400-pound wild animal. His excuse? He wanted to be one with the tiger. The man suffered broken bones. He's in stable condition. Police say they will be arresting him. And a flight attendant busted after swiping a passenger's iPad. Turns out there's an app for that. Police say a Nevada man lost his iPad on a Horizon Airlines flight. He used the Find My iPad app to locate his missing device. It turned up all the way in Oregon at the home of a flight attendant who was on his plane. The flight attendant said she found the tablet on board and was going to return it, but police arrested her when they found she had already put all of her personal information on the iPad.
They have an app for everything, don't they?
They do. Find your iPad, find your iPhone. Can't get away with that now.
No, they even have apps for weather, which aren't always good because you need to tune into us. And today's weather was amazing. It was a great day for us, first day of fall.
Yes.
Yeah, temperature-wise, though, a little warm, though, to start off the first day of fall. We were at 96 degrees. 92 is where we should be for this time of year. And yes, fall began for us right around 8 a.m. this morning, the autumn equinox. And it means that, well, the sun's rays are directly at the equator. They will continue to migrate towards the south as we head towards the first day of winter and the winter solstice. And that's where our days will get a little bit shorter. And as we head over the next couple of months, our temperatures are going to drop as well because we don't have that sun directly over us. Overcast skies for us this afternoon, continuing to see that as we've headed into the evening. Temperature-wise, not too bad out there. 81 North Las Vegas, 82 downtown, and 75 in Henderson. Going to be a nice cool evening for us. Winds have been out of the southeast, now more of a west-southwest flow is what we're seeing this evening. Nice light breeze out there for us. We're going to see stronger winds tomorrow, and that's all ahead of the system that's now moving into the Pacific Northwest. It's the first system of the fall, first storm system of the fall that's going to be dropping through our area. We'd hope it'd bring a little bit of moisture. We're not necessarily going to see that. It's going to push out that high pressure system and all of that warm air. Cold front will move in. Winds will kick up and will be relatively gusty as we head into the start of the week for us here in the valley. And again, the rain will stay in northern Nevada. Quick look across the nation. Most things are nice and quiet. Storm system moving into the northeast with some light rain, and a lot of the rain that has been in the Miami area is starting to dissipate at this hour. They've had some flooding concerns over the past 24 hours there as they've had several inches of rain that have fallen. Most of this in the northeast will clear up as well. We did see some stronger rain that happened in Ohio earlier today, but as you can see, they're drying out as well. 66 for Pahrump tonight, 75 for Las Vegas, 67 for Mesquite, and 78 for Laughlin. Laughlin will be the hot spot tomorrow with an expected high of 106, 98 for Mesquite, 98 for us, 96 for Pahrump, and 82 for Tonopah. Take a look at your 7-day forecast as our temperatures will cool for the start of the week. We'll have some clouds mixed with sunshine. Winds will remain gusty through Tuesday. Temperatures will move into the 80s for our afternoon highs on Wednesday, and our overnights will be moving into the 60s on Wednesday, staying that way as we head into the weekend. A little more sunshine. Temperatures will be right at the seasonal average as we head into the end of the week. So pretty mild. Just got to deal with those strong winds this early part of the week.
Much cooler nights and mornings, so that'll be nice.
Yes, it will
especially to be outside at that time. Thanks so much, Ashley. Still ahead, much more for you tonight, including a big change on the way for birth control being handed out in a neighboring state. We'll tell you where. And later, Garfield the cat has leapt straight from the comic book pages and right into an animal shelter in Dallas. Only this twin is a whole lot bigger. See for yourself coming up. You're watching Channel 13 Action News, where you ask and we investigate.
The 7-day forecast, sponsored by the all-new Station Casinos Boarding Pass. Get the card that gets you meals, cash back, and free slot play faster. Sign up today.
Obama promised.
If your family making less than $250,000 a year, my plan will not raise your taxes.
Untrue. Middle-class Americans face a huge tax increase because of Obamacare. Now Obama claims Mitt Romney will raise middle-class taxes. Also untrue. Romney's plan lowers middle-class tax rates by 20%. Barack Obama, dishonest on taxes because he's failed on jobs. Crossroads GPS is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome back. You can help brighten the day of a soldier fighting in Afghanistan. Tomorrow, the Douglas J. Green Memorial Foundation is holding a food drive for Munchies. The group is collecting snacks to send in care packages overseas. It's happening at the Summerlin Trail, Vons. That's located on Village Center Circle Drive. The group will be there from 9:30. Will be there tomorrow, from 9:30 until 5:30 if you want to donate. And the Navy commissioned its newest ship today in a ceremony in Galveston, Texas. The USS Fort Worth is named after the Texas city of the same name. It's longer than a football field and can launch special forces, remote control aircraft, and submarines. This is an impressive ship. It can also go from 50 miles an hour. It can go from 0 to 50 miles an hour in just 90 seconds. And some wounded veterans are finding peace under the sea. Through a unique program in Riviera Beach, Florida, Tiffany Kennedy tells us about it.
A group of soldiers used to the dry sands of the Middle East embark on a new mission aboard a Riviera Beach dive boat.
I'd like to introduce Marlene.
Marlene Carpata fought in Baghdad.
And an incoming mortar fire came in. It exploded behind me, threw me forward.
Now she doesn't have a right leg. Instead, she gets around on a prosthetic.
On August 23rd of 2011, my vehicle was struck by an IED.
Stephen Jackal lost his leg in Afghanistan.
Scuba diving is the only thing that I've found that I feel alive again doing.
Now he finds it easier to swim than walk. So down here, under the sea, after a tour overseas filled with so much violence, peace is found among the coral reefs and tropical fish.
We also have a large percentage of green turtles.
Above the water, the veterans also learn about sea life and the war against ocean ecosystems. The organizer of this dive hopes that these vets take away an appreciation for the fragile world underneath our waters.
And if you think about the similarities between our wounded military and the fish in the sea, they both have the same problem. They need their story told so that people really know what's going on.
Back on land, life can be difficult. Simple tasks can be frustrating. But down here, they get their sea legs.
Out here in the world, it's noisy, it moves fast. But when you get down in the ocean and you just watch that wildlife interact with each other and go at their pace, it's very peaceful.
Therapy on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
Some scary moments in Albuquerque, New Mexico tonight where a hot air balloon crashed into the Rio Grande River. A total of 8 people were aboard the flight. 3 were taken to hospitals for evaluation. None of the injuries is believed to be serious. The splash and dive maneuver involves lowering the flight path of the hot air balloon to just graze the river before igniting the gas burners to regain altitude and continue the flight. Obviously, that went terribly wrong. And coming up, some important recalls to tell you about. First, peanut butter taken off the shelves from stores right here in the Valley. And think your car is safe in park? Hundreds of thousands of GM vehicles are not. We'll tell you which ones.
And our overnight lows around the Valley this evening are going to put many of us in the 70s. Things will be heating up for tomorrow, and we have winds coming our way. A final look at your forecast is coming up.
Batman Live, the World Arena Tour, coming to the Thomas & Mack Center October 3rd through 7th. Get tickets at unlvtickets.com.
It's halftime during the Cox 10-day sale. Time to make a run to get half off any one of our great services for 3 months. Call today and get half off high-speed internet, half off digital phone, or half off advanced TV with NFL Red Zone with qualifying services. Want in on the action? You only have until September 30th to catch this great deal. Plus, there are even better deals when you bundle. This halftime half-off sale will be gone in a hurry. Call today.
I've seen the attacks against Shelley Berkeley, but I know it's just politics. I want you to know I support Shelley Berkeley because she's a person of integrity, and she's always stood up for Nevada.
She fought to put 450 new cops on the street.
She's cracked down on meth labs.
And Shelley Berkeley passed tough new penalties on sexual predators.
We trust Shelley Berkeley.
And know she's fighting to keep Nevada safe.
That's why law enforcement across Nevada is supporting Shelley Berkeley for U.S. Senate.
I'm Shelley Berkeley, and I approve this message.
Courtesy Mazda is extending its end of summer savings event. You can still get 0% financing for up to 60 months, no payments for 90 days on some of the hottest new Mazdas. like a sweet new Mazda 3 with Skyactiv technology, or that sexy new Mazda 6, even the incredible crossover Mazda CX-9. And how about a 2013 Mazda CX-5 for just $239 a month? This hot crossover gets up to 35 miles per gallon. Okay, think about it. 0% financing for 60 months and no payments for 90 days? Come on! Get to Courtesy Mazda in the Valley Auto Mall today.
I think this is a desperate attempt by Berkeley to change the subject from the ethics.
This is a very lame attempt by the Shelley Berkeley campaign to saddle Heller with an essentially non-existent ethical problem.
But I think Berkeley's campaign really now looks like it's flailing.
It's just an absolutely wrong messaging by Berkeley.
It's just a bunch of nonsense.
I'm Dean Heller, and I approve this message.
They promised to support troops with a star-studded show.
Country music, type talent, Gretchen Wilson, Jackal, I think Willie Nelson was mentioned.
And collected money from vendors.
I have called them endlessly, and their phone was disconnected.
But when months went by without an event,
kind of fishy.
Contact 13's chief investigator Darcy Spears wanted answers.
Any supporting documents that you can provide that discredit what we're being told, we want to see it.
You ask, we investigate.
Can you turn the camera off, please?
Channel 13 Action News live at 11 Monday. Action News live at 11 continues.
Welcome back. Now that the iPhone 5 is here, you may be thinking about upgrading your phone. Well, you better act fast. Contact 13's Tricia Kean has more in your Consumer News Wrap-Up.
So, what's your old phone worth on trade-in? Some phones can go up for over $200. But as the market becomes flooded with old iPhones, the trade-in value prices will drop and fast. So you may want to lock in a trade-in price now, and you have 30 days to then mail in your phone. Google is adding a Do Not Track option to its Chrome browser by the end of the year. But some consumer and privacy advocates argue there's no guarantee the option will work. Google reportedly plans to send messages to individual websites you visit telling them not to track you. Advocates worry advertisers may ignore the notification and continue tracking you. Mozilla, Firefox, and Microsoft's Internet Explorer already offer a Do Not Track option. JetBlue has announced it plans to provide Internet access to its passengers. The airline is partnering with Viasat, a company that provides satellite broadband services to give passengers high-speed access. That means passengers won't have to fight for a slow, spotty signal while flying. The carrier plans to provide the web service beginning in the first quarter of 2013. For Contact 13, I'm Tricia Kean.
The grocery store chain Trader Joe's is recalling peanut butter that's been linked to 29 salmonella illnesses in 18 states. The FDA and the CDC said the store's creamy salted Valencia peanut butter is the likely source of the outbreak. The agencies are investigating whether any of the other items sold at the store could be contaminated. More than 2/3 of those who got sick were children under the age of 18. No deaths have been reported. More than 400,000 General Motors sedans were recalled in the U.S. because of a transmission problem. Apparently, the defect causes cars to roll when they're supposed to be in park. GM says the problem has resulted in 4 crashes, but no injuries have been reported. The list includes Chevrolet Malibu, Saturn Aura, and Pontiac G6 models built between 2007 and 2010. Also from Contact 13, the cost of owning an iPhone can go well beyond the initial purchase. A new study finds Americans have spent nearly $6 billion on iPhone repairs since 2007. In the past year, 30% of iPhone owners have damaged their phone. The most common accidents happen when the phone falls out of the user's hand or it falls into liquid. California Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill today allowing nurses to give out birth control. Brown signed the bill during a visit to a Los Angeles Planned Parenthood clinic. The bill was passed by lawmakers in August. It allows registered nurses, nurse practitioners, and nurse midwives to dispense the pill, patches, and rings. Supporters of the bill say it will reduce delays for women because the state is facing a physician shortage. Opponents say nurses should be trained if they want to give out birth control medications. And prescriptions delivered right to your door sounds convenient, right? Well, not so much for one Valley man who was desperately waiting for some pills to be delivered. When he couldn't get answers, he contacted our Call for Action volunteers. How they were able to help coming up.
Jimmy Kimmel hosts the Primetime Emmys, live tomorrow on ABC. The best of the best are back. Let the battle begin. Dancing with the Stars All-Stars, live, premieres Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Small businesses like ours are what have driven this country, and President Obama just doesn't seem to understand that.
There's a reason there aren't more jobs. Obama has made a lot of bad decisions. He treats us like we are his enemy.
He's increased our taxes, he's increased our health care expenses.
We've gotten so many regulations that you can't keep up on, and you don't know what more is coming down the pike. Obama definitely is making things harder for us. If he has 4 more years, I don't think we're going to want to see what it looks like.
American Crossroads is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Some people say, do one thing and do it well. At Ram, we only build trucks, and that makes for a pickup that can work smarter, go farther, and just plain get more done. So let the other guys multitask. We only build trucks. Come see them at Ram Power Days.
Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles can lease Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab 4x2 for $259 a month.
My plan is to help the middle class. Trade has to work for America. That means crack down on cheaters like China. It means open up new markets. Next, got to balance the budget. You got to cut the deficit. You've got to stop spending more money than we take in. And finally, champion small business. Have tax policies, regulations, and health care policies that help small business. We put those in place, we'll add 12 million new jobs in 4 years.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
Chances are, in under 20 minutes, you could be at the largest auto mall in the world. And once you arrive, you can count on finding what you're looking for. Why chance it anywhere else? When you can shop 20 dealers, 25 brands, and over 5,000 vehicles, all at one convenient location. The Valley Auto Mall in Henderson.
All this week, we're giving away this little guy. Oh, and family 4-packs of tickets to Disney Live, Phineas and Ferb, the best tour ever, coming to the Orleans Arena October 5th through 7th. Enter on our Facebook page, then watch Action News Live at 11 to see if you win.
Prescriptions can be expensive, but they're necessary. So imagine one Valley man's concern when he couldn't get his hands on some important medication. That's when he turned to Contact 13's Call for Action volunteers for help. Here's Tricia Kean.
I've had 2 bypasses and I had 2 open heart surgeries for valve replacement and root replacement.
Bill Shockley has a heart condition that requires him to take several prescriptions.
And these are medications that I need to take forever.
So it's important that these pills are always on hand. But last month, Bill came closer than he'd like to running short of his medication. That's because his pills, which are normally delivered to his home, never arrived.
Actually, they said there was tracking through the U.S. Post Office on it, and that was showing that it had been received. And that's when I notified them, but I never received it.
To make matters worse, it turns out the delivery man didn't know where he had left the pills.
He said he couldn't remember if he had put it over my gate or put it by the door.
Unable to get anywhere with the delivery service, Bill called back his pharmacy about having new pills sent out. And that's when he learned some more bad news. Along with paying for the new prescription, Bill would also be responsible for paying for the lost medication.
Extremely frustrating. It occupied my mind constantly because I knew I was going to need this. I also did not want to be liable for a bill for something that I did not receive.
So after 2 weeks of phone calls back and forth and no results, Bill reached out to Contact 13's Call for Action volunteers. He says it worked better than he could have ever imagined.
Within 3 hours, I got a phone call from the pharmacy company that they were resending the prescriptions. I was stunned. I was like, wow, I can't believe I finally am getting this taken care of.
Here's the Contact 13 bottom line. The pharmacy didn't charge Bill for the pills he never got. He only ended up paying for the new order. Remember, if you're having trouble with customer service from any company, make sure you get the names of everyone you speak with. And don't forget, we've got your back, Las Vegas. If you feel your voice still isn't being heard, let us know and we'll see what we can do to help you. Call our Call for Action volunteers at 368-2255. They're here Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. And congratulations to the Rebels tonight. They won their first game of the season against Air Force. The Rebels trailed 28-17 at halftime before scoring 21 unanswered points. Final score, it was a close game, UNLV 38, Air Force 35. And you know the saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Truer words were never spoken in an animal shelter in Dallas. Find out why next.
It's a simple vaccine to prevent cervical cancer for women. It saves lives. But Joe Heck voted against requiring insurance companies to pay for it. He says that women get cancer from engaging in risky behavior. Joe Heck even opposes a woman's right to choose and voted against funding for Planned Parenthood, which provides cancer screenings for over 700,000 women a year. Joe Heck? Heck no. He's way too extreme for Nevada. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Today's the day I will not get my lunch from a gas station. Today's the day the game plan includes a position for everyone. Today's the day I give new meaning to the term roughing it.
Today's the day to get a great deal on the Do Anything Dodge Durango. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles can lease the 2012 Dodge Durango SXT rear-wheel drive for $299 a month.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Mitt Romney. He won't reveal what's in his taxes, and he won't tell you what he'd do to yours. To pay for huge new tax breaks for millionaires like him, Romney would have to raise taxes on the middle class. $2,000 for a family with children, says a nonpartisan report. You could lose the deduction for your home mortgage, college tuition, health care. How much would you pay? Romney just won't say.
24-Hour Day Planner, sponsored by Walker Furniture, your #1 furniture store for 57 years. Because
furniture, it's all we do.
Final look at the 7-day forecast, and we're going to have clouds mixed with sunshine for tomorrow. Winds will be gusting around 30 miles an hour at times. 98 the expected high, so temperatures will stay warm and above the seasonal average. That'll linger into the start of the week before we have a nice cool down for the mid part of the week, and we get our temperatures in the 80s, although those strong winds are going to be sticking around through Tuesday afternoon.
And a beautiful Saturday night tonight, so enjoy it. And finally tonight, meet Skinny. She's a giant 41-pound cat from Texas and a dead ringer for Garfield of comic book fame. But Skinny is actually in trouble. She's 25 pounds overweight and living in an animal shelter in suburban Dallas. But Skinny is also in need of a forever home and a very strict diet.
So if you have friends that are around the Dallas area, have them go adopt this little one. She's cute. She just needs a little treadmill.
She is adorable. Thanks for watching Action News Live at 11. Have a good night.
Injured in an auto accident? Call Harris & Harris Personal Injury Lawyers. Proven results.
The all-new Action News iPhone app is here. Get yours in the App Store today.